The day was dark, the sky heavy with the weight of impending doom. In the bustling city of Barcelona, a public announcement echoed through the streets, heralded by the blaring of trumpets. It was a message from the king's deputy, a warning that sent shivers down the spines of the city's inhabitants. The ecclesiastical officials, the vicar, and the canons of the See of Barcelona had faced a harsh rebuke. They were accused of proclaiming an interdiction, a religious ban that had enraged the deputy. The announcement was filled with offensive, harsh, and ignominious words, designed to humiliate and isolate these clergymen. From that moment on, the people of Barcelona were ordered to withhold all payments censals, moribundins, and any other incomes owed to the churchmen. Any contracts involving goods with these officials were to be terminated. The penalty for disobedience was severe, 500 florins and any other penalties deemed fit by the king's deputy. The threat was not just financial, it was a threat to life itself. The deputy, through his special bailiff, Miser Capons, gave the canons Miser Figures, Miser Vila, and Miser Pero just 2 hours to leave the city, or they would lose their lives and assets. This was a moment of stark division, a public spectacle meant to unite the city against a common enemy. It was a tactic used to stigmatize and isolate those who were seen as the subjects of political confrontation. The same methods were used to punish individuals accused of crimes that were particularly repugnant to the society of the time. One such crime was male homosexuality, which was often punishable by death, especially for those from the lower levels of society. In 1469, Joan Llobera, a prominent and influential third councillor of Barcelona, found himself at the center of a storm. The city was torn by civil war, and Llobera, once a respected figure, was now under suspicion. He was accused of sodomy, a crime that carried the death penalty. On a Monday, the 28th of May, Llobera and an immoral hermit named Bartomeu Polo were burned at the stake in the square of the Rambla. But before the flames consumed them, they were strangled, a small mercy in the face of their gruesome fate. Just a few months later, in July, another pair of citizens, Gaspar Rajadell and a scribe named Joan, faced the same fate. They were drowned in a wine bucket, filled with water, before being thrown onto the pyre. These executions were not just about punishing the individuals. They were about sending a message. The image of these high-status citizens, once respected and influential, was destroyed by their public condemnation and execution. The political context of the Civil War was crucial. King Peter, chosen by the estates, was deeply involved in these condemnations, even traveling to Barcelona to pronounce the death sentences himself. He was determined to consolidate his power and gain the support of the people by enforcing a strict policy of Christian morality. This included harsh measures against blasphemy, adultery, and male homosexuality, all of which were seen as sins that could anger God and bring divine retribution. The ease with which death sentences were handed down, the loss of procedural guarantees, and the acceptance of capital punishment for both religious and political reasons were signs of a society under strain. The tensions of the Civil War had deepened, and the monarchy had begun to incorporate rapid and often brutal applications of justice into its governance. This new approach to punishment was not just about maintaining order, it was about asserting power and control. In the years that followed, as the war drew to a close and a semblance of normality returned to Barcelona, the harsh methods of justice did not fade. King Ferdinand II, who ruled both Aragon and Castile, continued to use rapid trials and swift executions to maintain his authority. The gallows remained a common sight, a symbol of the king's power and the severity of his justice. The landscape of Catalonia was dotted with these grim reminders, a testament to the changing nature of power and the enduring legacy of medieval governance. The story of Barcelona in the late 15th century is a tale of power, politics, and the brutal enforcement of justice. It is a story of a city torn apart by war, and a society struggling to find its way in a world where the old certainties were being replaced by new, often harsher, realities.